we're back now to the second part of the questionnaire that you had for me. Is what do I do with my wool? So what I actually do with my wool is I don't send it anywhere to be milled. I do everything myself. So I will wash it just like you would wash any wool in a standard laundry bag in a sink with hot water. Um, After it is washed, I dry it. We use our wood stove to dry it. So it comes off kind of in lumps like this. I'll actually kind of show you. And I can actually tell you this comes from Miss Priss, who I believe we met in the barn. She is a Finn, what is she? A Finn Border Leicester cross, I think. Yeah, Finn Border Leicester cross. So this is Miss Priss. And after this is washed and it's in these locks, of course I can use it like this, but that's really the only way I can use it. You can spin it from here. I don't like to spin from this. And being as I do more felting and raw fleece weaving, I have to pick it. So this machine that I have here that kind of looks like a medieval torture device is called a triple picker. It is a David Green triple picker. They're now, I think the company's defunct. He died recently in the last couple of years. And this is one of the best in the market. So it's definitely one up from the tabletop picker that you slide back and forth. I have one of those somewhere. They're not very good. But this thing is expensive and they're hard to find. And they're really dangerous. So what I do is basically, it's literally, you pick it. And what it does is it takes the fleece, the locks, and it pulls them apart. And it goes from being kind of this one big mess to cloudy. And this is the scaled down version of what happens in a mill. Just the mill version, even the mini mill version, is essentially this configuration of tines and spikes that goes around on a wheel at a very fast pace and makes clouds out of it as well. So my original background was actually fine art. I attended Sheridan College, Central Technical School for the Arts, their full-time program in the 90s. Also did courses at OCAD and Humber College. Actually ended up in graphic design and web design. Also did some scientific illustration. But then realized that I wanted to work with the animals, and it was not a good fit for me at the time. So I do come from an art background, a very traditional art background. So after the fleece is picked, it now looks like this. So this is like a cloudy fleece. And I am actually going to do this one more time. All right, I'm going to pop back in here again. After I give you my little spiel, I'm just going to go to work. But this is called a carding machine, or a drum carder. This is an electrical one. I've got one here, and then I have a finer one here for finer bats. But this is my workhorse. And what this does is, just like hand cards, it aligns and once again separates the fibers. So this is what we picked. This is Miss Priss's fleece that we picked, and I'm now going to make a bat out of it. This is almost the same as a larger industrial machine. Just this only has 2 rollers, whereas larger machines tend to have rollers all over the top of it. To get you a much finer bat, this takes going through a few times to get something good and fine. So it is a slow process. And if you're kind of wondering why I would do this, it's because I have complete control over the final product. I get to mix my own colors, which I absolutely adore doing. And to me, that is a really big big thing. I enjoy mixing the colors. I enjoy doing gradients and just multicolored bats, because then I get multicolored yarn, I get multicolored rugs. I can mix my own colors. I can kind of use them like paint suddenly. So I can make a green bat out of both an indigo dyed bat and an onion skin dyed bat. Or if I decide to have that same combination done with an onion skin dyed bat and that's then had an iron mordant on it, it's a little darker and it changes the color. So it kind of becomes a lot like paint, although it's not necessarily the fastest way of doing it by any stretch. I'll now take the bat off of the drum. All the way back. Miss Priss is actually a really lovely, fine, soft fiber. So I can get a fairly packed in, dense bat of hers if I want to, but because I'm going to be using it with another bat, I don't necessarily need that. And this is only a first carding, so I'm not necessarily going to want to roll it up or keep it finished. And this will only go through 2 cardings anyways, because as you can see, the first carding, I still have all my lovely little curls here that they can be a lot of fun. And this actually bat will be felted on a different machine that I also have that I use. As I said, I started off as a felter and kind of worked my way into various textile arts. So I'm gonna have to keep this short and sweet because my phone is running out of storage for video. I lost part of my carding the bat, but so we started off with a lot of white, and we have a gradient from light to dark, and we also have a gradient from dark to light. So this is the felt loom. This is kind of what really got me started on doing a lot of textiles, and it does a whole different thing. So I'm going to introduce you to that right now. Essentially what I'm doing is, I don't know if you've ever done needle felting, but there's about 200 odd or so needles here that are essentially needle felting this bat together, creating a sheet, a felt sheet. So and this sheet essentially can act like a canvas for me, or I can use it just as it is. I can fold it over, I can tri-fold it, I can really do whatever I'd like with it now. But it now becomes essentially the beginnings of fabric. So we're actually milking some sheep here. And this is how it works. Thanks, girls.